Today we are in one of the most sought after communities in all of San Diego. It's 4S Ranch. A lot of people ask about it. A lot of people want to know about it. That's what we're going to get into today. We're going to go through, show you all the neighborhoods. They're all very similar. So we're going to show you some parks, some things to do and everything in between, get into some pros and cons as well. And at the end, we're going to hop into the map and show you everywhere we went so you have a good base and know everything you need to know about living right here in this San Diego community. There's a lot of good with it. There's some bad things, not necessarily bad, but things you got to know.
If I want coastal, probably not this.
Yeah.
If you want walkable, there's a ton of people out walking. It's a gorgeous day here. But it is going to tend to be a little bit warmer because it's not as coastal as some of the other communities that people might be looking at. So like this is kind of similar to kind of the La Costa area of Carlsbad price point wise, but there's a lot that this community has to offer.
But one thing that this community is known for is community. That's what it's all about here, is just like community events. At one of the private parks down here, they also have summer soiree, the winter soiree. They have a winter event. They have all kinds of stuff going on here. So if you're part of this community within the HOA, you're gonna be part of the 4S community. So anyways, that's what it's big for. Let's go jump into a few neighborhoods, show you a few different areas, and give you the rundown of 4S Ranch.
So we're walking through one of the neighborhoods. You're gonna find a lot of detached houses, especially as you kind of go out on the outskirts of 4S. And as you get closer to the commons, the town center area with a lot of the amenities, you're gonna have a lot more of those townhomes. Here in the detached houses, you're looking at 2,000 square foot plus, kind of in that starting range of like 1.7, 1.8, into the 2 millions for the larger floor plans. But there's a little bit more space, especially kind of in the neighborhood we're walking through now. Nice big front yards, driveways. They do have okay sized backyards as well. But then there are other spots that we'll show you as well where they're a little bit more, they have alleys in the back. So the yards aren't as big. You don't have a driveway in the front yard.
Yeah, it's more like a stoop in that front yard where you're just like, go hang out, have a cup of coffee out there. But yeah, it just goes straight to the sidewalk.
Where these are a little bit more traditional. And there's a lot of detached houses here.
So now we're walking by that other style with just like the stoop, little front yards. As you get back here, this style, it's gonna be a little bit smaller lots. Your garages are in the back, so that's where you have access. Street parking out here, but there's no driveways or anything. So it's just a little bit more affordable. Not crazy, but just a little bit more than just the standard detached houses. Because like I said, you just got a little less space as far as the lot goes. This community is also in an HOA, so it's really clean. It's all taken care of. There's a few community amenities like right over here behind us. We're gonna show you the drone footage of that. There's a private community park. It's awesome. That's where they have some of the community events, and they have just a big old playground, nice big green area for the kids to run around. During the summers, they do have a splash pad, so turn that on, get out here, because like Cassie said, it's a little warm.
Also, just kind of age of these houses. This is master plan community from the early 2000s. So when you're looking at these listings, when they come on, you're still seeing a lot of them that are original. And not that that's super dated, but you are still seeing, white tile bathrooms, shower enclosures, all that stuff. Sometimes countertops as well. And it's definitely more the majority that are like that than ones that have been completely remodeled already.
If you guys are thinking about moving to San Diego, maybe it's 4S Ranch, maybe it's Del Sur, maybe it's any of the surrounding areas, Penasquitos, Rancho Bernardo, really anywhere, North County, maybe it's none of those areas. But nonetheless, hit us up, call, text, email. We got a real estate team right here in San Diego. Numbers popping up right now. Hit us up. We got your back. We'll hop on a Zoom call, get you dialed in, and really dive into all these areas in depth a little bit more for your specific situation and see what's going to work for you. So hit us up. We got your back when making the move here in San Diego.
So right here, we're in the 4S Commons, which is the town center here in 4S Ranch. And there's a ton in here. There are a lot of chain spots, but there's also some local spots. So you've got Capri Blue, which is right here, where they're having the winter soiree for the HOA this year. But there's also Miguel's, there's a Carl Strauss. There are a lot of banks, a lot of chain spots. You got Panera, you got Chipotle, a lot of those spots. But you also have an Ace Hardware, so you have a local hardware store, big grocery store, a lot of amenities here, and it's really easy from this spot too to get to a lot of other amenities. You're not far from Rancho Bernardo, from Poway, so there's a lot around here as well.
And right within here too, you could read it, San Diego's original local beer, Carl Strauss, not the original location, but you do have that within this little area too. And kind of how it works here, as you are close to the town center, obviously you're going to be more walkable to all this, but the closest homes, the closest condos are all these townhomes right kind of on this side. So all those, obviously the price points are going to be a little bit better than all the houses. You're going to be more walkable to all this area here. And you're right here, as you spread out, as you go further out, you're going to start getting, this isn't exact, but just about as you go further out from town center, it gets a little bit more expensive. Even on the west side, which isn't, as you go up, there's a few gated communities up there. They're not necessarily part of Forest Ranch, but there's some big houses up there, big lots. You're looking at $3.5 to $4 million. And it's, like I said, not technically Forest Ranch, but it's right there as well.
So one of the main reasons Forest Ranch is so popular and so people want to get into this neighborhood is because of the schools. Once again, this is another Poway school district area, and Poway tends to be one of the top school districts in San Diego County. Just over here to the west of us, you have Del Norte High School, which is pretty new. It's only 2009. It's a huge, beautiful campus. You've got Design 39, which is a K-8 school right next to that, and then kind of sprinkled within the community, there's a few other schools, including elementary schools here too.
And once again, we found another giant park here. The parks here are no joke. There's so much green space. Like usually parks might have like a little, you know, little playground, little basketball courts, which this has, but it's got so much green space over here too. And this is one of many. But also right here, just to the east, bordering Rancho Bernardo, which we've done another vlog on, is the business park district where they have a bunch of businesses right there for North County San Diego. There's like Petco headquarters is in there. There's Sony. There's some Defense Department stuff. I think Northrop Grumman, something like that. Apple. There's just a lot right to, not like, I mean, it's bordering here, so it's super close. So if you are working in any of those sections, this is going to be a great jumping off spot. While it's not convenient, like we said, to the beach, you can shoot to the 15 freeway to go north or south in about, you know, 8 to 10 minutes or so. And from there, if you did want to go to the coast, shoot down the 56. But yeah, it's just a nice convenient area here. So as we're heading to the sports park to show you if you got kids, you're likely going to end up here at some point, either soccer or a few other things going on, baseball, whatnot. But nonetheless, all the first kind of places where we were out and about filming the neighborhoods and stuff were in the northern section of Forest Ranch. Now we are in the southern section, and there's a ton more homes down here. We'll show you in some of the drone footage, just sea of homes. So it's just a lot of houses. This is where southern portion too, the school, that's at the park that we were just at as well. But there's just a lot more down this way. And in total, there's about just over 4,700 homes in Forest Ranch.
So we're at the Forest Sports Park here, kind of on the south end of Forest Ranch. And this spot is awesome. We've been here with my kids in the past for either soccer tournaments, soccer games. But they also have really nice baseball fields. So there is a ton to offer here. Big playground, just a lot of space. And a bonus, since it's been a wet year, the fields are all turf, including the baseball fields, all turf here. So rain or shine, this spot is a really good park. You've also got a Boys and Girls Club right back here, where there's a pool. There's a rink. I think it's hockey rink.
Yeah, it's like a roller hockey rink. It's not ice hockey for sure.
And but there's, even from here too, there's a bunch of trails. There's trails throughout 4S, but definitely in this section there's some trails because there's open space kind of on the south side, a little bit on the north side here too.
And one thing about 4S, on the north side where we started, you have like the hills. Like if you go over those hills, you're like Lake Hodges over there. So a bunch of open space. To the south right here, you have Black Mountain. And so a bunch more open space. So a lot of areas that you're going to be here. It's just really pretty looking at like the rolling hills and stuff out there. If you're on the outskirts, you have a beautiful view. So there's just like, there's a lot of houses, but there's also a lot of open space, which you wouldn't think as you're cruising around here in Forest Ranch. So right up here is Forest Ranch. You have Rancho Bernardo off this way, Poway down here, Rancho Penasquitos, Del Sur, Escondido up this way. You can see, as we mentioned, it's a little bit further from the coast, a little bit further inland. If you are heading to the airport, it's going to be about 35 to 40 minutes, obviously depending on where you are in there. It'll be a straight shot down the 15, then you cut over on the 163 freeway or the 56 freeway. So as you are tucked in here, the main freeway is going to be the 15 freeway right here, north and south. Now there's nothing all around here, is basically just a bunch of side roads. until you get down to the 56 here. So you are a little bit further out, especially if you are going to the west. And then as we zoom in here, we started in the northern section up here. You can see about, like I said, mentioned about 45 plus 100 homes. All these little guys right here. I'll show you on the satellite view. All the green spaces, park, park, park. You do have the 4S Commons right here, the town center. So this is where your central hub is going to be found, you know, shopping, all that kind of stuff. There's another little center down this way. And then if you even go a little bit further, right out of 4S Ranch, you come over here, you find another Sprouts, you find a Target over here. So that is in Del Sur. Here is another big park that we filmed at, Heritage Park, Del Norte High School. Very cool design here. And then the Design 39. This big thing right here, you see it on the map, it is a reservoir for like recycled water. So there's a water plant right here. So they use it for like irrigation and stuff. When we were filming, it was pretty big. It was pretty full. And then they bring it down or use the water as needed during like the summer times and stuff. So down to the south is where we have the community park and then the sports park right here. This is where you're gonna find the pool, the tennis courts, the Boys and Girls Club, all that kind of stuff to the very south. Like I mentioned, you will find on the outskirts like some open space, so some trails going around. As you look down to the south a little bit, Black Mountain, there's some more ways to get out there, so some nice hikes and stuff. And then as you spin around and then look to the north, as we go to the northern section where we started, here's that Pioneer Park. So it's this little private park right here. But as you go north too, you're getting into, I guess if we go a little bit bird's eye view, you have Lake Hodges right over the hill here. So there's some trails leading down to there. And it's not too much of a recreational lake. You're not gonna be water skiing or wakeboarding or any of that kind of stuff. They did recently open it up to fishing and stuff, but it has been drawn down a little bit over the past few years because they're rebuilding this dam or repairing it, potentially rebuilding it. They're figuring out what to do with it. So it's a little bit low, but yeah, it's more of a fishing lake. You're not really gonna go out there for water activities. And then the other few things that we did mention, just to the east, this is the business park over in Rancho Bernardo. You can see it's a pretty big section located right next to 4S Ranch. And as you dive in, that's the big Sony building. There's some Amazon warehouses. Petco headquarters is over there. Jerome's is a local furniture store. So if you guys are living here, you might end up with some Jerome's furniture because they are all over the TV. So doing ads all the time, but you'll see there's just a lot of stuff right there. So if you're working right there and you want to be super close, 4S Ranch is a good option. But if not, the 15 freeway, it's going to take from back here to get to the 15, it's going to take about 8 to 10-ish minutes to get to that north and south. So a little down to the south, you do have a Costco. Here's all the Black Mountain open space. And then you will have a few more options as you go south to kind of cut over a few different freeways. But if you are digging 4S Ranch and you want to dive in a little bit more, be sure to reach out. We're the real estate team right here. We're the guys who answer the calls, texts, and emails. So feel free to reach out. We'll get you dialed in, help you figure out if this is the right spot for you.